this in a much faster manner because we can, as the officer, they can resolve that and be able to communicate with the citizen much faster. And so that is going to save them time again, and it's also going to help to get faster outcomes. And so I've got a couple videos that we can show you. One in particular is actually from an agency called Bernalillo County that used it, and it's with a Russian speaker. But before I jump into any of the content and the slides that I have, is there any questions that you wanted to make sure that I covered, or any topics that are top of mind for you?
Yeah, just one thing I'll throw out real quick, just like we're talking about language line. When we're at a crash scene or a domestic violence scene where people are, screaming, crying, we also have the fire department responding. The capabilities of this body camera will allow us to communicate with somebody in critical right now time. When we have to call downtown to the dispatcher who then has to call OSU or another language line, we're 10 to 15 minutes from trying to find that language. Up here in the Linden area, we have multiple different dialects along with languages. So sometimes it's difficult for us to detect Somali, Nepalese, French Creole. I mean, we have a lot of different languages, and our officers don't have a lot of background in multi-languages. So this would be a very beneficial tool for us to use in critical times, like first crashes, medical emergencies. The fire department can also do that with us on scene.
Sure. Any other comments, questions? All right. So Draft One is the first tool that we can talk about.
Is Draft One, and in our testing period.
So as we go through that is a video, and I'll play it here, but that is somebody that has actually been using. So Draft One is a tool that's been out in production in the field that agencies have been using for over a year and a half. And so there's a lot of data that we've collected, and a lot of time saving and efficiencies that we've collected. And so I'll just go ahead and let this play. It's a pretty quick video, and you can get some testimonial from it.
One of the exciting things for me right now is Draft One, and in our testing period, we've already identified that it's saving at least 50 or 60% of officers' report writing time.
Draft One has been really great for me. It's definitely cut down my time on report writing. I had a missing persons report. It was the end of shift. I had just taken it. Those reports, they have to be done quickly. Normally that report would take me 30 to 45 minutes to do probably. I was able to get it done in under 5 minutes and actually able to go home on time that day. So it was really great to get that report to the detectives so they can do their follow-up they have to do.
In my position, some of my interviews can be very lengthy. It cuts down time. I find myself doing a 5-hour interview with a suspect, and then I have to now write this 5-hour interview into a large essay. It's very helpful and beneficial to the case where Draft One writes the key points of the interview, and then I can go and review what Draft One has put into text, and I can add more information to make it more to the point of my investigation.
So a couple call-outs there is obviously the time. So anytime we think at Axon about these AI tools that are becoming more and more prevalent, it's all about enabling the officers to be more efficient, more accurate, right? And ultimately get them back into doing the police work that we want them to be doing, right? I think any officer will contest that probably the least favorite part of their job is actually writing reports. So a couple other key benefits of this. So, I don't know, I think the statistic is that 73% of agencies are down in sworn count. They're down officers. And so being able to maximize the time of the officers that you have on staff and keep them in the field is a force multiplier for the agencies. We're going to increase and improve our call for service, right? If you talk to DAs and prosecutors, one of the things is that you get 10 different officers. They're going to write in 10 different ways with 10 different accuracy and all of that. So it improves the narrative capability of the officers. And then, ultimately what we're trying to do is help the agency adjudicate and resolve cases, right? And so better reports are going to lead to better case results. One of the key kind of features of the tool of Draft One is something called unlimited auto transcription or transcription. And so what it's doing is it's taking the audio component from the body camera video and transcribing that. That makes it searchable for the officers when they're doing an investigation. And that then feeds into the Draft One tool. So some of these things, just like most AI things, they kind of build on top of one another. And so, the key statistic, this is a Rowlett Police Department lieutenant that said they're saving 65 to 75% of time just being able to push a button by doing the transcript. Today, an agency would have to go out to a third-party service that would manually transcribe. Now the AI is doing the heavy lifting, doing the work for the officer. So Axon Assistant. So Axon Assistant is a couple different kind of key components. The main one is the Axon AI translation tool. And I'll show you a video that's kind of a marketing video first, and then I'll transition into an actual video from the field. And it'll kind of explain itself here.
他对员工大吵大闹，然后抢一些东西就跑了。他是朝那边走的。
Language detected as Chinese. He shouted loudly at the employees, then grabbed some things and ran away. He went that way.
Okay, sir, can I get your full name, please?
好的，先生，请问您的全名是什么？
So that's an example. Now, the camera itself, it's two settings in there. One, it can auto-detect the language. So if they're speaking a language that you as the officer don't recognize, then you just let the body camera figure it out. Now, if you know that they're speaking Russian or Spanish, you can tell the camera to translate to that language, and it'll translate both to the citizen or to the subject, but also when they respond back to you, it'll translate back to English. And that all becomes part of the record for the officer that it's been translated. So everything is being tracked instead of using Google Translate on their cell phone, or again, having to use and leverage the language line there. So I'm going to show this video. And again, this is a real life video from this sheriff's office. And the backstory here is that they get a 911 call that somebody stole a UPS truck. And there was a bit of a chase. They pull this gentleman over, and you'll notice very quickly that he's in crisis, but he's not able to communicate very effectively with the deputies that are on scene.
Good job, lady. Keep coming, okay? Keep coming. Keep coming. You're right. Keep coming, bud. Keep coming back. Keep coming. More. Go ahead and get down on your knees. Put your hands. Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees. Get down. All right, put your hands behind your head.
Don't kill me, please. Don't kill me. I really have no problem. I ask you everything. Don't kill me, please. I know speak English.
What do you speak? Russian?
Yeah.
Double press to connect to the system. Translation. Press and hold button, then say, translate to X or auto detect. Then release button.
Translate to Russian.
Language set to Russian.
Do you know how to read English at all? I know. Sorry,
Вы вообще умеете читать по-английски?
Меня отравили сегодня утром. Я чуть не умер. Меня отравили, и они подошли проверить, типа я умер, нет? И когда они уже видели то, что я типа еще живой, я от них, короче, вот так уехал. И у меня в машине, у меня длинная история, это правда, у меня все есть. Я еле живой остался. Пожалуйста, не мучайте меня.
I was poisoned this morning. I almost died. I was poisoned, and they came to check if I was dead, right? And when they saw that I was still alive, I drove away from them like this. And in my car, I have a long story. It's true. I have everything. I barely survived. Please don't torment me.
Now it's too hard for me. I did both.
Okay, so you're not willing to speak with us. with the incident that happened with the UPS driver?
Хорошо. Так вы хотите говорить с нами о случившемся инциденте с водителем UPS?
Я хочу об этом говорить в присутствии адвоката и в присутствии агента ФБР, чтобы я был уверен за свою жизнь. Потому что у меня очень серьезная проблема. Меня хотели убить за это.
I want to talk about this in the presence of a lawyer and an FBI agent so that I can be sure of my life.
So a couple of things that, and I know that's kind of a long video, but to show the power of just being able to communicate with the subject is tremendous, right? I don't know if you noticed this, but whenever I watch the video, his eyes light up when it starts to speak and translate what he said, right? And many times the most important part of the call for service that the officers go on is usually that first couple minutes, and to be able to communicate immediately with the subject, as well as to try to get a sense of what's really going on, and then be able to, it's going to naturally calm them down, right? And so hopefully that, those two videos, again, the marketing one is great, but it's a marketing video, right? We could have used AI to do it, but that is a real life video from Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office. So I'll stop there. I showed you two kind of key parts of the enhancements that are coming forth to the agency. Any questions, comments, concerns?
I have one question.
Sure.
Legality-wise, how has this played out in the courts?
Which part?
So like, a crime happens, arrest happens, they are going through the court process, so the state and the defense attorney are requesting this record.
So the body camera is always going to be available as part of the record, right?
Yes.
Show and document that as a piece of evidence that the translation is occurring. Now, how would you, let me ask you a question. How would you read somebody their Miranda rights today if they did not speak English?
How would you do it?
Yeah.
Through Spanish, we have a form, but otherwise you'd be through the language line.
Through the language line.
Yeah.
So again, being able to translate through the body camera, right? Now, once they get to the interview room and they get to the process of the arrestee, that's where, you would probably have a language line or somebody else come in to validate, because now we're interviewing the subject, right? Or a translator there on site. Again, the legality of it is all dependent upon the DA and the prosecutor that is local, right? And so I would run this tool by them, and go ahead.
So I had the same question, but it wasn't on this part. Are you talking about your report, AI report, or are you talking about the part of the interpretation? Your question.
I think how the court of law sees this.
Which part, the interpretation or the AI? The draft.
So
Like any good defense attorney is going to
I've asked the question.
kind of tear this apart, is my
Again,
guess.
and so what I would recommend is that the police department meets with the DA's office and gets guidance from them, right? So we're not gonna speak for the legal field, right? And so it has been in the field. The tool itself has been out and live in the field to the general population, to the general agency since August of this year. But it's been in beta testing. Now, I think if I ask 10 different attorneys, I might get 10 different answers. And so again, my guidance on the translation specifically is to talk to them and get guidance on how you want them to handle it.
So I asked that particular question about, it wasn't so much the interpreting part, but it was the AI report. And it was like, how do you prove that a human wrote the report and not a computer wrote the report? So if you look back through there, he has a couple slides. It has a whole story. Everything's perfect. It says insert, 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 insert. And that is where the officer is going to go through. And he's going to insert a few more details. And there's a part of the system, which he just told me about, where you could put Harry Potter flies on a broom. Anywhere in there that the officer has to find that and erase that line, because as me as a supervisor, I'm checking over these reports. If Harry Potter's still in there, I know Officer Smith did not review any of this. He just pushed boom. But the system won't allow you to
The
push
system
boom
won't allow you
until
to-
you do the whole
to-
checklist. So that's how he told me out west. It's already been cleared through the courts. That's how they prove that a police officer wrote it. It's not just,
That's correct. On draft one, that is different, right? That's been out in the field for a year and a half. People have been using it. And again, there is confirmation statements when you go to submit that. There's not a way just to have this draft one. This is a copy of what a draft would look like. I can't just press save and copy and paste in my records management.
Right.
I have to go and insert statements. I have to add detail to it, and it has to go through me signing off on it. It clearly states that this is a draft report, right? So what we're thinking about here is the initial report. So if I work an 8, 10, 12-hour shift, I've gone on 16 calls that day. That means unless I wrote them all in my cruiser after each one, I've got to remember what happened 10 hours ago, 8 hours ago. Because it's doing this for me, then I can go and add more color, whatever notes that I took, what other things I observed on the call, and then it would go to a supervisor for approval, and now we're building a case off of it. So the draft one has been into the courts, is approved by the attorneys, but on the translation piece, again, that one is important because you want to make sure that you have the understanding of the DA and the prosecutor's office, they understand what it is, and there's already a legal framework around the language line and translation and those kind of things, and it's just fitting into the workflow for them.
Right, on the appeals court part, and we work in the 6th District Court of Appeals, on the language line stuff, that is embedded into the actual video of the camera, therefore it is evidentiary and is legal and binding. On the AI part, we had a search warrant program several years ago, back when we did our in-house detective stuff. And a company came out with a search warrant program that was found before its time. We, in order for the judges to be able to sign off that we are the ones that did that, kind of like what you're saying, there's a checks and balances that you go in and you have to either add something or you add something yourself and put something to make it that officer's work. And that's what they have found is holding and binding. If that helps.
It sounds like the AI, when the officer's doing his report, it's just like what you used to do, write it manually, do the interview backs up the facts of what the officer wrote. It's just speeding the process up, right? Okay.
That's the whole idea, right? Instead of going out of the CGIS certified system and going into ChatGPT, which I think everybody's kind of running emails through that today, right? We're all kind of using that in some degree. This is tuned and it is a closed system, so it's only within the agency system. It's not being shared out. It's not part of Grok or ChatGPT or any of the other, commercially readily available systems that are out there for all of us. I skipped you. You had a question.
I do. I'm Rebecca. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks.
I met about 9 lives ago. Used to be an interpreter.
Okay.
When I was in college, that was one thing that paid me to get through college. I used to speak Spanish. And it's been really helpful in my whole career. I was an interpreter for an annuity firm, and then now the firm that I work for, they try to use AI, but then they always have me review what was translated before we actually submit something. And I work in regulatory, so one thing that I've noticed that happens when they use AI as a translator, it doesn't necessarily know the nuances between words. Like, for example, coger in Spanish can mean to take. Like in Costa Rica, I said this, hey, cojo el bus, which means to take the bus. But if you spoke Spanish, you'd be laughing because it has also a not so positive in South America translation. So like when it comes to nuances like that, especially with reading somebody their Miranda rights, or we're looking at different dialects and something's being pulled up incorrectly, and maybe something translates that could be an insult to one person but a positive, like that word, to another person. What kind of liabilities do we have in there with the loss of translation and the issues that can happen, and how do we mitigate against that?
So my recommendation on that is similar to what you're doing today, right? Is to have an ultimately human and a little bit sample, right? So let's say this video is part of a case. That case is going to end up along with other pieces of evidence that are going to be, you're going to want to enlist the support of a human to verify the transcript, right? And to verify the translation. Now, what I want you to think about, what we're trying to provide to the agencies today is a tool at their disposal to be able to get quick communication and quick resolution in the field, right? Not necessarily to present it a case 6 months from now, right? There are steps in that process. There's going to be review of the case report. There's going to be an investigation. There's going to be supplements added and all of those kind of things. So the way I look at it in the world of police work is that initial body camera video that we watched and the draft, those are initial supplements into the case. You're going to be adding on to that as the officer and the investigative team, and somewhere along the way, you're going to have a human in the loop to make sure, right? You're going to have to find somebody either on the language line or somebody that's Russian speaking to validate that communication, right? Just like you would if they were trying to, especially with Spanish, right? Because we've demoed this for different dialects of Spanish, right? So we had somebody, the chief over in Illinois, that spoke very Dominican Spanish, which is a different tone, different intonate, and everything along that. And it translated the gist of what he was saying. But for example, he kept saying the word papi, right? Which is a term of endearment. Yeah. And so when it translated it, it said dad, because that's what the translation knew. But you and I both know that in the Dominican language, that just means something different, right? Yeah. So it's like, hey, buddy, or what have you. So again, the whole idea of the tool is to get quicker resolution, to open up the dialogue and the communication with the individual as quickly as possible, and so the officers can begin to triage and support that individual in their time of crisis.
I guess I'm just thinking of like a domestic violence situation with somebody who's holding some sort of a weapon, and then they're already upset and emotional, and then you translate something poorly, and then that could offend them in some sort of way, and how it could potentially escalate the situation versus not. So I guess, would you usually, like in the video that you shared, do they generally wait until the scene has been, what's the word I'm looking for? De-escalated before they start the translation, or like what would that look like?
Well, I can answer that. I mean,
okay.
If you're saying like the context you just said, there's no way except you've got to hope you're communicating in that. Without a system like this, you're not going to call a language line and go for PA and say, hey, if you got a knife, you know what I'm saying? That's a situation where you could use it. If you're close enough, and you could yell back and forth, you could actually talk. But you can't translate in a time critical incident. And I was going to say, you touched on it, of how calm that scene was. The reason why that scene was calm was because once they got the aha moment that they could now use their new toy, if you notice everything the bad guy went, and everyone went, they resolved it. Otherwise, I can tell you, I've been on many calls just like that. Everyone's banging their head against each other. Oh, what do we have? We don't know. What happened with UPS driver? I don't know. But at least they got all the way to the point, I want an attorney. Well, now you're done. Now you can't ask me any more questions.
It de-escalates quickly, right?
I mean, that's the biggest thing I see that he touched on. How
that's what I was trying to highlight, just to see his facial reaction and see his eyes, like just I don't know, right? If I imagine I'm in a foreign country and I'm struggling to communicate and I need help, as soon as somebody would like even spoke broken English for me, right? How much of a relief
it would be. Like somebody's understanding what's going on.
An open chain of communication, and that's really what we're going for. But again, I think to his point, I was going to say the same thing. In that type of critical incident, right? You're just trying to de-escalate the best you can, right?
Because there's been several times recently where the dispatchers have taken a 911 call and they don't understand what the caller's saying. They just want the police or they want fire. And we get on the scene and we have no idea what we're dealing with yet. This is instantaneous to let us know, do we have somebody that's been hurt, someone having a heart attack, or they're just, they're screaming in whatever language on the phone. The dispatchers don't know sometimes because they can't call the helpline on 911 and try to translate while they're taking that 911 line. So a big benefit. And to touch on what you're asking about liability, this is critical when we get on scene somewhere later on. If this turns into a big felony caper or a burglary or something, detectives downtown, when they get downtown, they're going to have a language person or somebody from Ohio State come out during that interview by the prosecutor's office, and they'll review all this footage as well too. But when we get to that point in the case, then yeah, they're gonna have somebody else come in to help with that interpretation of that person.
And that's not any
Dividing
different
is really
than,
not playing.
it wouldn't be different than verifying the officer's report anyway, right?
Correct,
Same kind of
and
process.
that's, all this being recorded into that video, even with the language interpretation, it's gonna be docked on that video. The prosecutor will have access to all that for their review. Right now, anytime we do make an arrest, those are automatically sent down now. Everything we do is sent to the prosecutor's office.
Supervisors get trained and then train the officers, or your staff comes and trains?
So we can go either way, right? So we have a team, our AI deployment team is what we call it, and they would come and train. Now, it's hard to get everybody in a room all at once, especially at a smaller agency, and so we like the train the trainer workflow. We also have online videos that's in what we call our Axon Academy, that if you go and hire a new officer, if somebody needs a refresh, that they can go and watch. You'll notice that there's a series of button presses and holds that they'll have to do. That's a big part of the training. And then at any point in time, if we ever need to reinvest time, like I said, I'm one of about 5 people that work for the company that live here in Columbus, so I can always come back over, or we have a customer success team that can help you as well. So we have a team of individuals that can support on the initial training as well as ongoing training. Good question. I can stand up here all day long and talk to you about Axon stuff, and any other questions, comments?
This just looks really innovative, and I'm glad we're able to participate, approve, because you're keeping us cutting edge. That we were one of the first in the county got body cams, so this feels like the next kind of big step.
Well, and I will say our goal at Axon is to continue to innovate, to help agencies with better tools, right? Our motto is protect life. That is really what we want to do, and make sure everybody is safe at the end of a contact and end of a call for service. You ready for beautification?
I'm always ready for
All right.
beautification.
Thanks for letting me go first. I appreciate it.
Well, there's a backstory, but we're not going to share.
Oh, okay. Do we know each other from a past life?
No, I mean, there was a reason why you went first at the last minute.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you.
When we're doing this, just have pictures.
Let's see, let's go ahead and we'll skip number 5 briefly, and we'll go on to the beautification project. Thank you. 4 years ago, I ran as trustee. Tonight is a big night for those who are running. I'm sure that the stress level is high. But I wanted to, this project, the Beautification Award, was something that was really popular before the pandemic happened, and then unfortunately with the pandemic things kind of fell apart, and I wanted to try to bring back a little bit more of community engagement and pride in how people were able to see their homes and be proud of the community that we live in. So I was really excited when Deborah Smothers was also interested in assisting me with this project, and some community members as well. She has done an absolutely fantastic job. The two of us together, we kind of formulated a formula of what we wanted that year to look like, how we were going to advertise in January about what it was going to look like, and then how we were going to show off people through social media, their houses and the work that they're doing. And so she put that all together. She did a whole bunch of other work as well. She does the pictures, she puts together the way that everything, like the intake, taking in the pictures, and then we worked together to choose. I'm so proud of what was brought to us on behalf of this, but again, because at Clinton Township we like to see people leading by example and doing all the things that they do best. I actually want to go ahead and let her introduce the winners to the competition once
we get to that. So again, I want to thank everyone that participated. I'm so proud of how far we've come. Last year was kind of us bringing this back to fruition and getting the ground running. So we had 3 cool winners last year. And then this year we have 3 wonderful winners, and I'm really excited to see this presentation.
Okay, we have this on a loop, so we get to see some of the visuals of our first prize winner, James and Jackie Lewis. They were actually first place winners last year in our beautification project. Jackie's here today. James not able to make it. So Jackie, why don't you come on up? All right, so we're going to go ahead and give you your mystery prize and your certificate. Thank you. And then we're also going to do a photo op. Rebecca, come on up. Thank you. Got it? All right, great job. Thank you for participating again.
Thank you so much. The reason why we do this, October 13th, my daughter passed away. So my husband, she always liked flowers. So we continue to add a flower each year in her name.
That's awesome. Thank you. It's a beautiful tribute. Our second place winner is an individual who's been in the township for several years as well. How long, Anita?
36.
Huh?
36.
36. This is her first year. And I almost had to twist her arm to do it. And she ended up winning second place. So yeah, she got judged and it was decided overall she deserved second place. So it's Anita Glasgow and her husband Steve. Come on up.
Please help me. Well, 5, 6 minutes.
So anything you want to share about your efforts of beautification? We don't need help. Here sis.
I'm a plant addict. That's why.
Okay. And there's your award. Or he's going to get a photo opportunity as well. Thank you so much. Got it? Great.
Yeah.
All right. Congratulations.
I like the township.
Yeah. You do a great job. Yeah. All of you do. But yeah, that was awesome. I drove by your house and I was like, wow.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I do, yeah.
Thank you. Deshawn, she's a participant again this year, same as last year. She won last year for most creative, and this year she got the 3rd place award. So come on up, Deshawn. Awesome. Great job. Here's your reward and our photo opportunity for Deshawn. Good job. Anything you want to share about your garden wizardry?
I'm very happy to have you every try very hard for people, encourage people live this area and get a better environment, and I really like it.
You did a great job. Good job. All right, we're glad everybody got to participate. Be on the lookout again next year to sign up. I'll be out there, bothering everybody to get them to sign up, and we really enjoy all the people that take pride in the neighborhood and participate and enjoy keeping our township beautiful. So thank you. What's that? You're going to get rolled? She said she's going to take your crown. You better watch out.
Can we just give one round of applause for Deborah real quick?
Thanks.
Awesome, thank you for that. All right, we're going to step back to social media. comments option removal.
So last meeting, just kind of an old business thing. Last meeting, we had Chief bring up, and then Dave was getting communication. Can you go over that for people that may not have been at the last meeting? What you found out at the Chief's meeting about what's going on with social media comments?
Yeah, so I was at a Chiefs in Service training a few weeks ago with Chiefs from all over the state of Ohio. And one of the people that presents legal issues that's very well known across the state of Ohio, now includes chiefs and the prosecutors and municipalities, that he suggested because there's a group of folks out there, not just here in Columbus, but across the nation. They call them First Amendment auditors, and they're doing research on different places where they can try to file lawsuits, public entities, and they will want comments on Facebook pages or chat pages, social media, and they'll put nasty stuff on it and they get deleted. And then if they get deleted, they'll then turn around and file a lawsuit for violation of the First Amendment right to speech. So I brought this up to our folks here just for liability issues. And kind of what the legal advisor is we are a public entity putting out public information. We are not a back and forth mediator. But yeah, we want to get information out to folks, but we don't want to bicker back and forth with somebody that has rude comments or off-the-wall comments that isn't even a citizen of our township here. So that's the reason I brought that up. And then I gave some research information to Mr. Medley, the administrator, to look over that I acquired from some of our legal folks. So that's why I brought that up.
I know, talking with their attorneys and insurance agencies, they are concerned with this also. Just know that there is a liability that's out there if we keep live comments on our pages. I know Deborah, she likes to interact with people. It's a tool for the township to have a quick response to some of the comments that's made there. Some of the comments there's no response to. We've only had a few of the bad ones, but like I said, this is up to the board if they want to continue with the comments knowing that there is some risk.
And I did provide, if I might add, research on my findings based upon our discussion from our last meeting and provided that information to be considered as well. Hopefully everybody got that and read it.
Can you block these people?
No, that's why, like, if somebody asked if we can block the folks that are just being outlandish, I got a little carried away this time last year. You know, the federal race had me worked up. I said things that weren't great on our social media. I wasn't doing it to try to cause problems. I was just being my real self on social media. That's risky. For the township, we have to keep permanent records of, we have to keep records of things. So something innocent like we post that there's a food market and somebody says, when's the next food market? We just missed that. Even innocent, just delete it. That person is now, we've now deleted her comment and it's a big violation of First Amendment rights and it's hard for my record keeping, our record keeping. So this has been a conversation that folks in Deborah's role like the comments because it does increase engagement, but it's always a liability. So it's the board's decision. I mean, people can direct message us on Facebook. That would be a permanent record. I mean, that would be a record as well. But that's one-on-one, and I think people are less crazy when it's a one-on-one communication versus the public rants.
And they can always come to a township meeting if they have concerns too.
Yeah.
We don't
Whatever.
need to address them on a comment line.
We're all accessible by email and phone, and so this conversation's been happening for a long time. That folks in Deborah's position, she wants more community engagement. I can't blame her for that.
So if I read the correct things, and Deborah, I'm going to look to you for more explanation. This is in our employee manual?
There's a section on it in our employee manual, and we also have a full-blown social media policy that I've pushed out numerous times to leadership when I've had ran across certain things or just provided that information.
What's the reference to the employee manual?
But there is a section on social media.
What, that employee
There is a
manual
social
allows
media
respond or what?
in the handbook.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a social media policy for employees and their personal. I mean, there's more, that's a whole other subject.
Right, so for example, like I don't represent myself as Deborah Smothers, the employee of Clinton Township, when I go on any of my social media sites outside of Clinton Township. Like if I run across somebody that might be complaining about Cleveland Avenue, I might say, oh, look, here's where you can find information on Cleveland Avenue, and I might send them a link or put the link on there, and that's as far as it goes.
You do that as yourself or as Clinton Township?
No, just as Deborah Citizen. So I don't advertise to anybody who I am and that I work at the township. I just, provide any helpful links as a regular citizen of North Linden or Clinton Township, either or. Is that helpful?
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, it was shortly after COVID. Was it that year? Were you on the board yet? Where I believe a trustee that's not on the board anymore was like pushing that we needed a social media policy.
Yeah, I think I remember that, watching the videos.
And we went back and forth for a while, and it was very tedious because none of us agreed. And we came up with a policy. And so I'm not sure. I mean, it's just unfortunate because we do, and not even we, Deborah does a great job on our social media.
We have a full-blown policy. Those individuals who are making undesirable comments, they don't get any engagement and action whatsoever. And at the end of the day, anybody can attempt to file a lawsuit towards anybody for anything, substantiated or not. Again, I don't see any other townships turning off their comments, so that's my concern. I understand that to revisit the conversation that we had to some degree from last meeting, that there obviously is a legitimate legal concern out there in the law enforcement universe that I wasn't aware of until last meeting. But
It's a twofer from where I sit as far as records retention. That record's live forever, and you can spend a lot of money about how to keep track of your virtual records, but it's just not necessary that it would be more streamlined for my efforts as far as maintaining our records if we were one direction of communication. We're doing a street fair this day. Here's a link, please come. Aside from what he was saying, the First Amendment auditors, and they used to do this even before digital stuff. They just hit little governments, those are usually their target, and if we have goofed up and didn't dot an I or cross a T somewhere, we're liable, and they get paid out for us not keeping track of records. It really actually falls all under the umbrella of records retention, and it's a hairy beast that doesn't really ever die when you have comments on. I mean, who knows why? Somebody could go back 4 years ago and be like, I love that event. I now would have to update what the record is from a comment 4 years ago.
What did we find out that other townships are doing?
Deborah did research on that.
I did.
So you're saying no other townships?
I couldn't find any,
Franklin
I could not
Township
find any townships that have their comments turned off in the townships that I referenced in my email the day after our meeting that I sent that email
I thought
out.
we had heard Mifflin turned theirs off, and Mifflin's right next door, so there are townships that don't
Okay,
have
I'm
comments.
just saying based upon the ones that
And which ones did you investigate?
I looked at several within
Can you name
Franklin,
them for me, please?
Franklin County.
Yes, can you tell me which townships you?
I can't recite them off the top of my head right now.
Well, when we go to the trainings, they always advise us to limit our liability. So I'm always going to be in corner, limit liability, not lazy, I just don't want to have a never-ending record. So that's, when we go to the Ohio Township Association conferences, that's the advice they give us.
And I'm the one that added this to the agenda. And my duty as a fiduciary agent for the township is to protect it from liability and lawsuits and potential money losses. So I am very adamant that we limit our liability. I think our insurance company in several occasions, several issues have said, like it's taken us forever on this room use policy because of liability concerns with our insurance.
So we're looking at Mifflin Township right now, and they're not turned off. Sorry.
Well, it was reported that they weren't.
It was reported that it was. Okay, so anyway, whether they are or not, Mike brought this forward as a concern of the police chief. This is going on, and I'm saying as a fiduciary agent for this township, I am not comfortable with continuing that liability. Now, if you guys are comfortable opening the township up to that continued liability, that's how you vote. I am not comfortable with, as a fiduciary agent of the township, to having another avenue of liability for the township. If we can limit it, I think that's our responsibility, to protect our taxpayers' monies as much as we can from potential liability loss. I don't know how you else, but that's my feeling.
I think it's crazy that pushing out community events that are helping our residents, that are innocent events, like a produce market, safety days, family movie night, has the potential to just turn into a nasty situation because you have someone who is immature and chooses to take those actions to badmouth or destroy people in the township.
Because Deborah does good work in responding, but I just think we need to limit liability where we can, protect the resources of the township where we can. This is my feeling.
We can say there's a produce market happening. We just don't have any need for people to say, I love the lettuce I got last week, or I'm upset you don't have meat this week, or any of that.
Yeah, and I think, and again, this is no reflection on what Deborah's done here at all. There are bad actors out there, not only just here in the United States, but overseas. And with this advent of this AI and all this technology coming out, there's going to be things coming across our table we don't even know about yet.
Bots.
They look real until they're not.
I mean, the amount of people that are, just like credit card scams, people that are scheming senior citizens on the phone and online, we've had several of those in the last year.
I haven't gone down this rabbit hole recently, but when we looked into this 6 years ago, I feel like it was pre-COVID, all the large jurisdictions do not have comments on. I didn't go down to the level of all the townships, but like Columbus Public Schools, they say, hey, this school's closed. They just put it out there, it's one line of communication. So from larger entities, say Columbus, Public Schools, whatever, they don't have comments on their social media that I've seen.
Well, this is going to be so, but my dog just graduated from training, and they invite alumni of the training to join a Facebook page. But when you go on there, you have to agree and know that you cannot comment on anything. That's their policy of their Facebook page. You cannot comment on anybody's post. You can, post something else supporting somebody, but you cannot respond to anybody else's comment. So there's public and private Facebook pages that are protecting the liability the same way. Because it's silly dog training, but it's a small business. She's trying to protect her assets of her small business. So she doesn't accept comments on her Facebook page. If you don't want to comment, then you don't have to join the page. But y'all know how I feel. So.
Perry Township also has comments. Franklin County. I was just looking.
Okay.
I'm torn on this. I work in the securities industry and everything is highly regulated. If somebody, you have to take like 800 tests, I swear, just to understand that if somebody makes a comment on your page, then that has to be reviewed by, to see whether or not it's a complaint, and that has to go through the regulatory process for every single comment that's made, so that if it is some sort of a complaint, then that has to be sent to the complaint division. I currently work in the complaint division, so I would receive that complaint, and then I'd have to review it and see whether or not it's worthy, and all of those things. So in the securities industry, all of those comments are turned off just because of the liability that is attached to it, like Dave's saying. But I'm also not running for trustee, and I feel it's not appropriate for me to limit what this is going to look like going forward, because to Deb's point, the regulatory aspect of it can be very intense and concerning, and it can turn into a larger problem, like we're all saying here. That's kind of why this is being brought up. But at the same time, if Perry Township is willing, which is one of the bigger townships that's located near Powell, I think it's near Powell, and if our neighbors, Mifflin Township, are also willing to take on the liability because of the importance of making sure that the community is able to stay engaged and involved, which is a huge struggle. As we can all attest to, just trying to make sure that we have people that want to engage in this community, want to participate, and feel like their voice is being heard. That's also very valuable and important to our residents. So again, I'm not running for trustee. I don't want to limit the future of what this township is going to look like. So I just don't know if I necessarily feel comfortable voting one way or another. That's my opinion.
You are a sworn trustee until the beginning of the year, so you need to continue to take your fiduciary responsibility serious, and abstaining from vote is not fulfilling your term till the end, like you swore that you would
I
do.
mean, regardless of this vote, if this vote happens, another board in the future could do it.
That's right,
or
could reverse
do
it, could reverse
It's
it.
just, we hear about that with executive orders in the White House. That's how it happens here.
So you're voting on it, it doesn't mean the next board can't reverse whatever we vote on.
It certainly makes
Things
things
can always
stressful.
be changed.
It certainly is, topsy-turvy to change policy on. But regardless of what happens between now and the rest of the calendar year, the new board could support the previous board's decision or tweak it or change it.
So I just have a question real quick. In the event that we decide to turn off comments, what does that look like? Do we just turn them off? Or do I need to push it out to the community to say, with respect to the community, that we are no longer allowing comments on social media?
We probably just have to say that at last night's meeting, it was decided by the board that to limit the township's liability, we are no longer allowing comments on our social media page.
Mhm.
And then you put down our email addresses, our phone numbers, and if somebody wants to respond, put down your number.
Okay.
They can always call us and ask the question. We're not cutting off communication. with
No,
the
I
public.
understand that,
Yeah. I mean,
but
we
it's
can still push out
a
all our-
significant piece of communication.
Well, we've had a similar debate with the YouTubing of these meetings. Would more people come to these meetings if we didn't YouTube them? We don't know, because it's just COVID, we were allowed to start meeting remotely, and thereafter we used YouTube them forever. So some folks are really introverted. I can fire up a lot from my basement, but I'm never going to show up in person. And I'm not mad at that person. That's just their comfort level. So the board just has to decide, this board, their liability. We have a lot of communication outlets out there. I guess I'm just saying there's two sides to every argument if you want.
Can we ask for public input now?
Yeah, I mean, audience, crowd.
Anybody want to respond,
Residents.
give us any kind of guidance from a citizen's point of view?
I don't look for the comments, I just like, like the pictures, okay, this looks
Yep.
great, looks great.
And that's
But
gonna continue, that'll
The same
continue.
thing, like what you're saying is, if you're gonna cut it off, I might feel cheated and go, well, look what they did to me, this ain't right, why are they cutting this off? I can't have my piece, and you're right, we can come to, some people can't, but they can call.
Yes.
Not everybody has email, but
Right.
I can see both sides. I mean, the person that says, well, I can't even get there, why can't I comment on there? And I understand why you can't, because you're right. I mean, I belong to a couple different groups, and somebody that tries to get in the group all of a sudden throws all this crap, sorry. crap
Even
out
in my
there.
canoe forum, we get crazy. I'm like, we're just talking about canoeing, friends. And we got rules.
Really?
My comment will be, this is why I don't do social media.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what people say.
No.
You have 8,000 comments.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what would happen if you put it done, and just do a live meeting. You gotta find out everything.
Yeah.
Because everybody would just sit there and.
Correct.
push,
Yeah.
push. So I understand, I mean, I understand like how you go through this. But I can see both sides. I mean, you're right, everything now, no matter what you do, you can be held liable for it.
But protect the community as far as the money and all that.
Yeah, I understand. I
That's
understand.
my concern, is protecting the assets of the town.
I just send the
I appreciate
when
the
you
comments, I
send it,
appreciate that.
block comments.
And I'm sure
What they
most of
gonna
them, if you
comment
ask
on?
them that made these comments to come in and speak about it, probably would never show.
That's right. It's like she said, it's easy to hide behind a keyboard.
Yeah, it's easy to hide.
behind a keyboard, yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there.
There's a lot of lawyers out
scam
there
you.
looking for work.
Oh, yeah.
I already got something today. Scared the crap out of me.
Not that every lawyer's like that, but there are a lot of finished last in their law class looking for work.
Scam.
Aside from the bottom.
So
my comment.
are there any other residents that want to make a comment about this? Not to put you all on the spot, but.
No.
But your feedback's helpful, and then you participate in our beautification project, so whatever our communications are, you guys gravitate.
Anyway, I'm going to pass this to vote. So I move that
Hang
we,
on. I do understand both sides. I find it interesting that other municipalities have their comments on, like Bexley has theirs on. Bexley Police have a Facebook page as well.
And I didn't mean for this to turn into
No,
a
but
two-minute
because, no, but Brian, do you
I
have
just
your,
brought up a liability issue.
Brian, do you have your comments on in your fire
This is
department?
kind of way off when we started.
So our fire department does not allow comment,
And I don't see comments
Yeah.
from my side. I don't know if there's.
just because they're turned off.
Eyes those or.
Does, have you guys, well, since you know Bexley has theirs on, have you asked them if they had any liability situations and what caused it, or?
I have not, but that's what I'm leaning towards, is allowing time between now and the next meeting, or now and like December, to reach out to these municipalities and to like ask.
Yeah, the attorney's name's Jonathan Downs, if somebody wants to call him, and he can certainly relate the same information he gave us.
I thought that's what we were going to do between last meeting and this meeting. Rebecca, you said you wanted to do research between last meeting and this meeting, and you were going to present your research.
I didn't say I was gonna present it, it was
Well, you
just
said you did
presented.
research.
Deborah did a wonderful job.
Jonathan, what?
Jonathan Downs.
So you didn't do research, Rebecca? I got confused.
I read the research that was done. but it-
By Deborah?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Is still want to make a motion. You can do your research, I still want to take a poll straw of the board in protecting the assets of the township.
To be fairly, I was just looking at yours, and there are actually comments on the Instagram page, just to let you know.
Okay.
I mean, I can make the motion, you guys don't have to second it, but I'm still gonna have my say on the public record by making the motion, and you're gonna have yours on denying the vote on it, so that's why I want to be on that.
Why does it even need to be a motion?
Because how do we pass them? Don't we have to set a policy to turn them off? Or do we just tell somebody to turn it off?
But we don't have all the information.
Then you probably won't second his motion.
I know that's what I said.
Right.
I still want to get mine. Hope it won't be in the record if it's
So when
not
did
seconded, right?
Okay, so like what's going on?
It sounds like David's going to put a motion on the floor.
I know, but it feels like it's because like someone's trying to get someone like hemmed up on something.
No. I just wanted, in case we get swatted by this or something happens between now and the delay that's being proposed, I want to be on record as stating I'm in favor of protecting the assets of the township on November 4th at this meeting. And the motion didn't have support from the other two board members. But then if we end up having to pay a liability between now and whatever, because it sounds like it's okay, that cross-eyed is not a good idea. What am I saying
So
wrong?
then it makes it seem like the other two board members don't care about the
No, I mean, you can
township?
vote however you want.
The motion would be to turn off
Right.
comments
Right.
on social media.
All that other liability
That-
stuff wouldn't be
that's
part of the
That
motion.
would be the motion.
The motion would just be to turn off comments on social media. I'm not gonna add all that other
So
stuff.
it's just to throw this out, did we talk to someone at Otarma who's our risk consultant?
Yes.
Because they would be, if we get sued, they're the ones that are gonna handle the lawsuit.
When that Otarma guy here, did he ask us about what our policy or what we did with social media?
Yeah, you want
That
to
was one of
make
the
sure,
questions
want
he
to
asked
make
us.
sure we had a social media policy, which we did.
Yeah.
That's been a year ago.
No, it was just a
No,
couple months
I
ago.
did it here
It's like
3 months ago.
a month and a half ago. Everybody was around the table.
Yeah, I mean, they bring it up every year, we got a
Yeah.
social
But
media.
that was one of the questions he asked was, do we limit comments on social media? Because he asked us a bunch of questions about social media.
And the insurance companies will always advise against it.
Right. I mean, just like they pushed back on, the room use thing's been 2 years because of liability, the insurance company keeps bringing up.
Yep, it's not personal.
No, it's
just
not.
liability.
This is not personal anyway. This is business, all business, no personal attack on anybody. I was elected to protect the township, and Mike brought this to our attention that this is going on. Townships, counties, cities are being sued because there's people out there looking to make a quick buck, and so they decide to stir something up in a community, and then community's like, well, we'll just turn off the comments because we don't want to hear all this back and forth stuff, and then that's when they get sued.
Yeah,
Luckily, we have not been attacked yet.
I think maybe the liability is if we start commenting back to them.
Right.
And engaging in.
No, the fact that there are live comments happening at all is a liability because it messes up what a record is. And if somebody deletes a comment, which I've heard we have deleted comments and we should never do, that's a violation of Tom's opinion. You cannot delete Tom's opinion. And it's really unfair. Tom could say something outlandish. He could say, I have 3 eyes. That's his right.
The same right that allows us to burn the American flag anywhere we want to. It's the First Amendment. It's not right. We mostly don't agree with that, but you can burn an American flag anywhere. It's part of your First Amendment rights.
Well, these lawsuits that went through happened, did they favor this person, or did it?
Just to clarify,
They end up-
we've never been sued
No.
ever
No.
for anything like this.
No,
So they
I'm
settle out of
saying-
court.
I'm saying when you talk, your attorney talk, what do you say cases, well, they won this much against this place?
Yeah, because what happens in a First Amendment lawsuit, if you get sued, you're not only getting sued for violating someone's rights, you're gonna pay for that attorney. That's where these attorneys are making their money.
Right.
Representing people that had their rights violated. And it's similar when we, if we have a bad police officer somewhere, and does something wrong, they're gonna get sued for violating someone's constitutional rights. Not only does the officer in the township get sued, but that attorney's gonna take money from the township to cover their expenses.
Right.
So if they put 100 hours into a First Amendment case, we're then paying that attorney 100 hours of his time.
And they can sue individually, the trustees, because we're the overall board.
Right. It's all crap.
The liability is,
Yeah, from what I understand, the whole thing that came about was these places deleting the comments.
Yep.
If we want to allow comments, that's one thing.
And the
But what I'm
comments,
saying is what we were
right.
told, and it was a local county here, that they deleted negative information or false information.
Yeah.
Somebody can put on our Facebook page, the fire department stole 10 turkeys from Aldi's down the street and handed them out to people.
Right.
Is that a true comment? But if we delete that,
Yeah,
That's about the
if you host hate speech, right, I turn off comments, there's no chance of hosting hate speech on your
if
Facebook.
somebody puts hate speech about, let's just say KKK on our website, we can't delete it.
No. Or the minority populations we have in the township. Somebody makes a comment about one of the minorities, and there's hate speech going on about that, and we're hosting that on our Facebook or our next door page, or whatever you call it, then we're opening ourselves up to liability. And as trustee, I can be individually sued for that kind of thing. And I'm not interested in, I know the township would defend, but I'm not interested in, I think we can do a lot better with our township's money than defending lawsuits on hate speech.
But there hasn't been a single one on hate speech.
I wouldn't be so sure to know
I don't
every
know.
lawsuit that's happened here. I mean, we're older than the state of Ohio. I come down to cost benefit. What's the gain to us? We can interact with people. What's the potential loss? Huge. So, I mean, if I was a trustee, which I'm not, I wouldn't be voting for this. And also, my pesky records retention. It does matter. There's a lot in the Ohio Revised Code. And that's what they win lawsuits over. It's not just limiting Tom's speech to say, I have 3 eyeballs on my forehead. It's, you didn't maintain your records correct, and there's a fee to pay for not maintaining your records. I wish I didn't have to do records retention, 100%, but what are we doing here if I'm not keeping records of what we're doing? This needs to be a place of work, and I don't see what's so productive about comments on social media. I 100% understand our communication person's perspective. I just don't ever think it's worth the liability to our township, and I would have no problem saying we care more about our liability than jurisdictions that are leaving their comments on. And maybe I'll go say that on their comments, just to be ironic.
So just to clarify, Chief, you were saying that the liability issue is in removing comments that are put on social media?
Correct.
Yep.
So if we don't delete posts,
We have.
Oh, we have in the past.
That's where this issue.
I haven't.
Well, nobody's accusing you, Deborah, but it has been done.
okay, I've been interrupted again. So, in order, just to clarify again, is if we have in our policy that says we do not delete comments, or if we, because if an individual decides to put hate speech, that's on the individual. That's not something that we can control. That's not something that we can get sued for over what somebody else says. So if our policy states that we cannot delete comments, then potentially continuing to have the comments out there means that we would not have any sort of liability as long as we don't delete them.
Because we're hosting it, by putting it.
I'm asking the chief right now what he heard in his meeting.
No is your records retention. That is what people win.
Still
on not maintaining records.
not asking you right
your police chief doesn't maintain records for the township. You can ignore me. You cannot care what I'm saying. That's fine.
I care what you're
I'm telling
saying,
you-
I was directing the question at the chief.
I'm telling you, as a records retention person, that's the liability.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
My question was, in the discussion, because again, the posts are made by the individual, and it isn't a representation of the township. And so if an individual posts on us and says something negative, we're not liable to that. We're only liable if we delete it.
That's the way it was explained, that if we allow comments to be posted, we cannot delete any of those comments, no matter what they say. If somebody has some kind of religious, or like I said, ethnic comment, or something about the KKK, we can delete those comments. If you delete comments, then you're violating someone's First Amendment freedom of speech rights, and then the township can be sued.
So I'm saying you would limit the liability of not hurting somebody's First Amendment rights. You still have the liability of not maintaining your records.
Well, Deb, how are you maintaining the records of social media? And this is a honest question.
That's part of the social media policy that we have here internally.
But besides them being on, because I can go back and look at comments from when we first stood up.
I don't know.
When we first stood up social media, they're still out there on social media. But I'm asking, so they're still there. If somebody says, I want comments from, we can still obtain them from social media. What's your process in retaining social media records?
Figured one out.
Okay, so we don't have one.
Your previous person in your role had several meetings with companies, and Matt Huffman entertained many meetings with companies about how they can help you archive your records retention with social media. So I can tell you at least a dozen staff hours has been spent on talking how you can digitally archive your comments. I wasn't in those meetings. I don't know, other than we've never decided. I'm just telling you it's a ginormous liability. It's still a liability. We still need to figure out.
Was this something we need to ask our attorney about as far as archiving social media records that are?
No, I'm not confused about it. Other people can, if they'd like.
But you're our records retention specialist, so isn't it your duty and role to make sure that you are archiving these?
I'm in your boat, but I don't have a paddle. I would like us to not have comments, but I'm required to keep track of our records. I can't tell you how to manage things.
Dave?
With conversations with our attorney about this, what do we do with comments? What somebody comments in the public is their record. Our record's what we post. You can have 30 comments after that. Our record is what we post. That is our record.
That's not what's been communicated to me in my trainings, and I don't know why they would have sat through 3 different presentations if that's the way things are. But if that's the way things are, great. And I'll ask the OTA why they said that in our trainings.
Well, maybe I don't remember correctly because my mind has not been very good lately. But I feel like at the last meeting, I specifically said something about, like, let's get this information from this attorney, or let's have someone come in to present to us or something. Because if it's how Dave is saying, then I'm more prone to keep the comments on.
Yeah, because this has been discussed with the FO office every couple of years now.
There's nothing to discuss with me. I don't want comments on. You guys need to tell me how we're archiving our records, and for now, we've kept the comments on because it does increase engagement. And I say that's an increased liability, and we continue doing it.
Well, it sounds like it only increases liability if we delete the comments, but I agree, it would be nice to hear this directly from the lawyer or attorney that started this.
This is kind of an urgent thing. I don't know why the lawyer wasn't contacted in the last 2 weeks. That all we got was a report from Deborah's point of view supporting the comments, but none of us, including me, have solicited a lawyer's opinion. Administration didn't solicit comments from a lawyer.
I think Dave was just
Or make a
saying
presentation on it.
Yeah, this has been discussed before with Julie.
Okay.
Who's our attorney? Just for the audience,
And
Julie's
her
our
advice,
attorney.
since we depend on her advice, a lot of time, is she in favor of comments, or is she suggesting to limit our liability, we should not host comments?
I mean, he was with the presentation to the OTA with her to limit.
Right.
That it's always a good idea to limit your liability. If you limited your liability on everything, well, we could go on and on and on and on. But what I talked with Julie about probably a year ago, 2 years ago, the retention of the record. The township record is what we post. We cannot control what somebody else posts. That is not our post.
So,
But it's on our page.
so what if,
It's our,
like, a comment was made a year ago, or even 6 months ago, between two people, and one of them goes and deletes that from our page. They delete their comment from our page. They're allowed to make comments. I can go on Facebook and I can delete any comment I've made on any
Well, we
website.
don't delete it because it's not.
But once they delete it, it's off our page.
Correct.
Nobody can see it anymore. But then, who knows how do you delineate who deleted it? How is she gonna record, how is the township going to do records retention to document something that happened 6 months ago that she knows nothing about, but yet she's responsible for that?
For what Julie said, we're not liable for that.
Okay.
We're liable for what we post. If somebody puts a hate scenario on a comment, that's not our comment. That's not our record.
But it's okay for us to host, we can host hate speech?
My understanding is
We're
that
not
it was
holding,
our
that's the First
record.
Amendment. It's like you said, they can
Well,
put a flag right out.
by limiting the comments, you're not allowing the hosting of it to even happen. They can't say something about a minority population because we don't allow it. So then it never gets started. So then we don't know how many hate speeches we're not hosting, right?
I haven't had direct conversations with a lawyer on this ever, but my understanding of how it's been taught, my understanding of what's been taught to me at the OTAs is if it's on our page, it's our record. I get we didn't generate the Deb has 3 eyes comment, but it was set on the township's page, so it's the township's record.
So this sounds like a great opportunity to get clarification from legal how that pertains to.
I agree. I second the motion to table
There's
this.
not even a motion on the floor. There's not even a motion on the floor. You can't second.
All right,
Something that was never
I'm
even
going to
motioned.
make a motion that at our next meeting, we can have this attorney come and present specifically what are the liabilities that are to us, because it sounds like we're going back and forth and we don't fully understand what the concern is.
Okay, the proper way to do it is to table it till next meeting, and then it comes up under old business. So you don't even need to
All right,
move and
that's-
second it, you just
I'm gonna make a motion
move it to
table
next
then.
meeting.
That's literally what I just said when you said you wanted to make a motion.
Well, I know, but
And so
I'm
now
just
you're
telling her the
going
proper
against
process
what you just said.
is to don't even make a motion, just table it. If you want to do it the way meetings should be run, that's what you need to do.
Well, let's table it and let's move on then.
Dave, I need for you to please get a hold of Julie and to get either a presentation or see if she can be present.
And she should know who Jonathan Downs is.
I'm sure she does.
I mean, Okay.
All right,
Thank you for the lively discussion.
on to public
Thank you for your input.
comments. Are there any public comments?
How do you guys feel about social media?
Okay, on to the fiscal officer.
Request a motion to approve payroll.
So moved.
Second?
Trustee Grimm?
Yes.
Trustee Jessberger?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yep.
Request a motion to approve the bills.
So moved.
Clark and Grimm, do you want us to pay the bills?
You don't wanna do it? We usually go
I'm
back
just
and
giving you,
forth.
I'm just giving you a chance to
Shine.
have all the seconds the rest of the year.
Second?
Trustee Grimm?
Yes.
Trustee Jesberger?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yep.
That's all I have.
On to committee and team reports, the chat with Chief Fraley.
So October 24th, free produce market, we had 6 pallets of food that we distributed to 459 individuals. We held a free women's self-defense class on October 25th that was well attended. And our next event will be November 21st, which is a family night with the movie It's a Wonderful Life, beginning at 6 p.m. at 999 Chambers Road. November 21st.
And just as a reminder, because of the holidays in November and December, we only have one produce market a month.
Second Friday in November and second Friday in December.
Thank you. Beautification work group.
Can we just give another round of applause for our winners? Thanks again, everyone, for participating. Alright. Anything else? Okay. Budget work group.
Nothing new to report on that?
I did send out the 26 appropriations, so we can approve those at the next meeting if the board's ready, or you can wait till December if you want to be dramatic.
Can we approve them tonight?
No.
I don't have them in front of me.
Okay.
I just sent them out today. I think it's better to.
Right.
We didn't send them out until today because there was edits being made today on them. So
Okay.
I don't foresee any more edits unless, as I said in my email, which I don't think that's going to change between now and the end of the year, the OPWC, a large grant that he's applied for, if that comes through, we'll amend them.
999 Chambers Road work group.
Do we want to move forward? You go ahead and start.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot went on by our last group. The UCVA is trying to get their organization back together. So we're kind of waiting on where they're at as far as insurance and things like that nature. Some different avenues to go so they can maybe use that facility at 999 Chambers Road.
They do already have access card though, so they are able to get into the building. And we're going to agree to join chat. So they're going to be at least have an umbrella underneath our insurance at this time. So that was a really exciting update. But we still want to be able to create a building use arrangement outside of our general community groups. So there was a talk of adding Venmo and putting that together to be able to incorporate on the, so that they can pay via Venmo instead of having to pay via credit card, so that we don't actually have to have a credit card company, because that can be kind of expensive.
Who's paying for what? I'm confused what you're talking about.
For the building use,
Rentals?
yeah, rentals and
It's
incidental.
pure deposit.
Okay.
I know that was brought up, so, and I know that you were gonna look into that, Deb, so I don't know.
No, I don't know anything.
No, we've never assigned her to do anything on
I
that.
have never been asked to oversee anything about payments. I've just been told there's a discomfort with me issuing refunds. So we have not figured out a pay system, other than we used to do PayPal for the bricks, and I said, don't do PayPal for the bricks. I have never issued anything about how to accept money for building use policy or rentals.
Can we ask you to look into setting up a Venmo account for the township so that people could,
You can, just,
Okay.
I prefer by email, because it's a pretty important thing.
right? Well, we can do that, we just ask you to do that at that point.
If there's a hiccup on money with the building use policy, this is the first I know of that. I've heard there's concerns that I shouldn't be issuing refunds, so we can't figure it out. But I will now look into it.
I think we're going to eliminate the deposits. And I think your office had concerns with taking cash, how that was going to work. So that's what this brought it up. And I think David said
Mhm.
he had talked
Venmo, you
with the
can-
office
you can
about
take-
using Venmo.
Right. You
And
can
that's where this is all came from.
eliminates the credit card fees.
Yes. Because that was your concern, how do we separate the money? Because we don't want cash now.
Okay, so there's been loose conversation of what will happen with money. Yes, I've repeated, we don't usually accept cash here in any regard. That has happened on gov deals years ago. But I wouldn't say any loose conversation in my office has been us issuing policy or holding this up. I've just been told that people were not comfortable with me issuing refunds, so we didn't know what to do. But I will work on it and I'll get something by the next meeting.
Dave, could you
I
send me an
have
email
no
requesting-
idea what's going on right now. I don't know if there's something wrong with me, which there very likely is. But I'm just so lost, and I just feel so bad for our residents that are sitting here, like, watching this dysfunction. Like, I don't, okay, hold on, I just need to take a deep breath. Hold on, okay. What is happening?
Do you usually refund a deposit?
Yep.
Okay, that's what she's talking about.
I was just trying to figure it out.
Once.
Can you hear her?
So we'll move forward, but we'll look into how we're going to accept payments for building use rental.
Good, thank you.
That sounds great, thank you.
I think that's all it was about anyway. Trying to figure out how to move forward and make it happen.
Okay, administration?
Excuse me, I do have a cold, sorry about that. The first thing I have is request a purchase order in the amount of $12,337.63 to do some Bobcat North America Incorporated for, from line item 2231-60 or 760-740-0000. That'll be for the purchase of a sweeper bucket with a gutter brush and a snow pusher for the sweeper area.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Gussberger?
Yes.
Trustee Graham?
Yes.
Next, I have request a resolution approving the nomination of Ronald McCure as the representative of Franklin County Townships on the SWICO Board of Trustees.
So moved. Second?
Trustee Graham?
Yes.
Trustee Gussberger?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yep.
Next, I just have a reminder, the township office will be closed on November 11th for Veterans Day. And that is all I have.
Thanks. Chief Bailey?
Yes, we'd like to request a motion to amend appropriations by adding $250,000 of unused EMS revenue to line item 2281-710-750.
And I have 3 other items to add to amending appropriations. To transfer.
Am I supposed to so move that?
When I'm done reading these 3. Transfer 200,000
Oh,
from
okay.
It'll be a match.
Sounds good.
2081 to 2281, the healthcare reimbursement line, and put it into 2081 210 other insurance. Next item is transferring 14,000 from 1,130,310 zoning and putting it into 1,110,310 administrative professional technical services. Last item, transfer 10,000 from 1,192,228 healthcare reimbursement line and put it into 1,110,500 other.
So moved.
Second.
Who got it?
David?
All right. Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Jessberger?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Next, we'd like to request a resolution to accept the contract with RSVP for a medic remount at a cost of $237,000, $692, sorry, to be paid from Fund 2281-710-750.
So moved.
Second?
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Jessberger?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yep.
Next, we'd like to request a resolution to approve the 3-year purchase agreement with Stryker for a new EMS pallet and load system to be paid from Fund 2281-230-430.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Jessberger?
Yes.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
And then we'd like to request a resolution to approve a 3-year purchase agreement with Stryker for a new LifePak 15 heart monitor and Lucas CPR device to be paid from 2281-230-430.
So moved.
Second?
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Jessberger?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yep.
That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Jones?
Monthly report for the police department. We, calls for service in October were 485 calls, down several from the previous month. Going into traffic issues and with the construction on Cleveland Avenue, with the orange barrels being removed, hopefully that's going to assist in our traffic flow on Cleveland Avenue other than people dodging the concrete curbs now. Other item I have, we did the presentation on Axon for our contract renewal, and I'd like to request a resolution to adopt that new contract and get that approved this evening. For the contract renewal, this would be for 120 months, 10 years, at a total cost of $732,614.89. This contract would save the township $215,840 over the life of that 10-year contract that we renewed today, or this month, and establish a purchase order with the fiscal office for the 10-year period going forward. And I've talked to the fiscal office and fiscal assistant. We have the funding to be able to do this. We just need to set up a new purchase order that would handle this contract. Just for reference, right now we would have 3 different contracts. This is going to roll everything into one contract for that price. So that's our tasers, body cams, and adding cruiser cams to the current fleet so that our cars all have the cruiser cams.
So moved.
Second.
Come on, I think Rebecca got that, all right.
Yeah.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Jessberger?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
And the second part of that request board authorization for myself, or if you want Mr. Medley as a township administrator to sign that contract.
I'm sorry, did you make that a motion? I didn't hear you say.
He wants permission for either him or Dave to sign the contract.
Do we need to make that a motion though?
We can make that a motion.
Okay. So
I make a
moved.
motion.
So
I request a motion from the board. To either have myself or township administrator renew the signature on the contract with Axon.
So moved.
Second? I'm fine with you, James.
It's gonna say or.
It can be either.
Like or.
Oh, okay. So we don't have to choose, you're just saying that it could be either of you two?
Correct.
Okay, Jess first and then second.
It's a thing, I don't know.
One of us could get hit by a bus before we get the contract.
It's called
Please don't do that.
It's also called win the lottery and fly away.
Oh, we gotta have a contingency plan.
Trustee Grant?
Yes.
Trustee Jessberger?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yep. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Omar?
Just a quick reminder that the Gage Road area storm sewer project has started. That's all I have for today.
Are you guys picking up leads? I think I heard that the other day.
Yes, we are. We started October 14th was the first go round around the lead collection. So definitely started to add up now, and people are starting to put out more and more. So
Yeah, last week it really started to fall.
Yeah.
People keeping their guys clear.
The storm drain you're talking about. There you
Omar, what was the end date of that project? Do you remember?
They have a.
Spring?
Yeah, around May 29th.
Okay.
The substantial completion date.
Around May next year, okay. Thank you.
And, oh, you're talking about the Case Road.
Mhm.
They've got 2 crews on that. They're hoping to wipe it out in 2 months.
Oh, well, keep me posted.
But they still have until May to get it in case weather changes.
Thank you. Does Dan have anything that he was going to, no, okay. Community affairs?
November is National Veterans and Military Family Month. We're going to focus on providing information and resources for the veterans and various veteran groups. Veterans Day ceremony is November 11th, next Tuesday. We have that posted. It's at 10:45. I'll be pushing out the final program by the end of the week. And as usual, we'll have various speakers at that ceremony in leadership. So whether that's Trustee, Dave, Omar, Chief. So be on the lookout. The new Swaco, I put relaying bins, but they're really recycling bins. The deliveries pushed back until the end of the year. We were really hoping that we would get those by the end of November as another early Christmas present. It's been pushed back till the end of the year for a variety of reasons on their end. The election sign recycling containers, we're going to have them both here and 999. So for the individuals who don't want to transform their election signs into yard sale signs, they can drop them off here. Food resources, if you're a follower of our Facebook page, which who follows the Facebook page? Who follows Clinton Township Facebook page? Been pushing out all kinds of food resources in light of current events. And I also have hard copies of all of the resources I run across to post on social media, and also we'll have them available here in our lobby for those individuals who are seeking some assistance with that area. With flexibility, I know, word of the day, liability. With flexibility, I want to touch base real quick on community room events. So I'm really excited that we are getting that wrapped up, or it is wrapped up. If we have a wrapped up policy, I'd like to have it, because I do have some individuals that want information on having events here at the township and using the space here in the township to benefit our residents and members in our community in the township. So I got the information. One of my responsibilities and my position was to actually seek out various programs, various organizations that want to find a space to do these type of things in our community resource room, which I haven't been able to do because we haven't had a policy. So now that we are at that juncture, I just want to put that out there, that we are getting people that are interested, and I just need to know how to communicate what that looks like with these various groups. And then one last thing, which I'm going to respectfully request leadership to have a discussion offline regarding this subject. The Veterans Bricks is still an outstanding issue, and that's all I have.
Can we, like, the battery died on this before the end of the meeting, could you investigate other?
I've already done that. I've already did everything in that universe and turned everything over last year.
Okay. I know we've talked about it before.
All right, thank you.
Talked about that in the 999? What's updating their audio system, Rebecca?
Not yet.
Suggestion.
Anything else?
That's all I have, thank you.
Were you going to mention the UVCA?
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped item number 6, I beg your pardon, UVCA, the Fall Festival. They had the Halloween party, which got canceled because of inclement weather. Their Fall Festival is this Saturday, November 8th, from 5 to 7.
And also, we would like to put out that the potential of using 999 chambers as a backup for weather, so we don't have to cancel this again.
I love that suggestion. That's wonderful.
He proposed that this morning, didn't he? That was the regular thing.
I agree.
So we'll let Morgan know, and she can add that to whatever information she puts out.
Oh, she wanted to know about the buns. Will you bring the buns on Saturday or?
Oh, yeah, because it looks like it might rain.
Right. So, 72 million.
Okay. Do we have any appreciations?
I'm going to appreciate everybody who's running tonight. It's not easy to sit up here and try to do this. So, thanks to everybody who's running for office in our township and across the state. There's just a very low number of people running for these offices. So if you have friends in more rural areas, not sure why people don't want to come up here and try to do the best job in the public way that they can, but sincerely thank you for everybody who's running. I know it's not easy.
It's hard to find fun like this.
Any other appreciations?
I want to thank Deb for making me aware of there was a beautification contest.
I was going to ask for another round of applause for her, so we can go ahead and do that. Thank you so much, Deborah, for all of the amazing work that you do.
I just found out about it last year.
It's fun. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy bugging people.
Any other appreciations?
I want to appreciate Corey for stepping up to be the backup.
Sorry.
Great job, Corey. I don't know who Corey is.
He's one of our public works personnel. He's been with the township for a year and a half.
He cleaned up.
I
I didn't recognize you. To be honest with you, I had a double take on it.
Any other appreciations or comments?
Are they still? Oh, yes, yes. 179. Yeah. I'll have to call.
Do I read both of these back to back?
You can, you can just get it out of the
Just,
way.
okay. All right, so at this time, I'd like to make a motion to enter into an executive session per ORC 121.22G8, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning their compensation or other terms and conditions of employment, and a motion to enter into executive session per ORC 121.22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, or compensation of public employees.
Second.
Trustee Britton?
Yes.
Trustee Justberger?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yep.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.